this video, we're going to talk about coaching and if it helps your YouTube channel. I've gone through several different programs, also belong to communities, and I want to share as a new YouTuber my experience with these programs and if they really do help you get more subscribers, more views, all the things on your videos. So first, let me do a little disclaimer and say I'm not going to mention any names. That's not who I am. It's completely unethical to say terrible things about other creators or other programs. I don't do that. So I'm going to give you general information about different programs, but not going to name any names. So let's start there. So when you're looking at coaching for anything, you're going to run into programs that are anywhere from $300 to $10,000. So you really need to do your due diligence before you decide to get into a program and not know what it's all about. So make sure you do your research. So when I was out there looking for coaching to help improve my YouTube channel, because I'm new, I don't have very many subscribers. I don't get many views on my videos. I'm not trying to say that I do. But as a new YouTuber, I needed that extra help. So I've been looking for mentors and coaches. These are some of the things that I've run across and some of the things that I've experienced, and I want to share them so you don't do the same thing and make the same mistakes that I did. First thing, when a coach says one-on-one coaching, and they say, I'm going to look at your individual channel and help you improve your specific channel by looking at your stats, looking at your videos, all of the things. Make sure that's what it is. One of the programs that I'd tried, and it was $297. Let me tell you that first. So, it goes back to you get what you pay for kind of thing. Because for $297, I wasn't expecting to spend tons of time with this big creator, and it was a big creator. So I was realistic about it and realistic about my expectations. But when it says one-on-one, I, in my mind, think that is talking face-to-face. It's on a Zoom call or a phone call, because maybe it's because I'm old school and I'm an oldie but goodie. But when I say one-on-one, I want one-on-one. I want to be face-to-face with that person. I want to be able to ask questions. I want to be able to talk through things. But that's not what this means, and I bet that's not what most people mean. One-on-one was through email. So yes, someone was emailing me information. Now, this is a huge creator too, so I really don't think it was that person. It was probably somebody on that person's staff, which is still totally fine. Again, I don't expect some big creator to spend time with little OP on me. So it's probably somebody on their team, which is totally fine. But it was not very robust. It was very general. So what would happen is, this person would say, and I'm not even going to say if they're male or female, but this person would say, okay, tell me what you want as far as ideas for your next video. Well, that's why I want coaching, because I want someone to help me with those things. So I would give out some ideas, and that person would come back with screenshots of other videos that did well, and they would say, recreate this thumbnail with your title. And they would reword the title for me, reword what it said on the thumbnail. And sometimes those didn't really hit what I wanted. And so, but I went with it because I want to be coachable. I am taking the advice of these big creators. So I want to be coachable, and I want to take their advice and see if it works. So I did it. So they would say, make these adjustments and put together a script for me to review. So I still did all of the script, would send it to the person, and then they would get back to me and say, okay, that looks good. Go ahead and draft your first video. So it was very superficial. It was very vague. And then when I would send them the draft of the first video, then they would say, okay, that looks good. Go ahead and schedule it to post. So I'm like, that's not really helping me. I want somebody to say, oh gosh, no, Jennifer, that looks terrible. You shouldn't say that. You need to add something here. But it was very, very general and generic. if that makes sense. So that I was a little disappointed in. So we did 4 videos together, 4 videos, 1 per week. None of them got any more views. As a matter of fact, my views actually went down because one of the topics that I told this person I wanted to concentrate on was helping new YouTubers do better. So that's what I wanted to do. And the person said, no, don't concentrate on that. You don't have enough time on YouTube to be giving people advice. And I'm like, but those are my videos that got the most views. But again, I wanted to be coachable, so I went with it. And I did not really see any change in my performance. So 4 videos, 30 days, no change. I think I gained 12 subscribers during that 30-day period. And I probably would have gained more if I had just stayed with my own path. Now, that's not to say it's not great for some people and it works for some people. But this person also said that the average person in their program gained 25,000 followers, subscribers in 30 days. And I just don't see how that's possible. I think it's very inflated, and you just have to be careful. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So just be careful. Now, the other thing that this person told me, which was contradictory to everything I have learned about the online space, is that you don't need to have a specific target audience. What? That's what I've always been told. You know, you need to know who your audience is, that perfect avatar, all their demographics, everything about them. So when you're doing a video, you are talking to that person. Well, one of my videos, I said, I want this to be geared towards people over 50 because that's my target audience. And the person said, no, you should not do that because you're going to eliminate a lot of people out there who may click on your video if you didn't have something about, for people over 50. I'm like, ooh, wow, that goes against everything that I've ever been taught and everything that I've practiced. And maybe as you get to be a large creator, then yes, I could see that being a possibility. But I want to concentrate in a certain group, and this person said, don't do that. So my videos didn't do that. They were super broad, could have applied to anybody, any audience at any point in their journey in the online space, and it didn't sit well with me, but I did it again, so I was coachable. And after I didn't get very many followers, of course I said, well, there is a guarantee on this program, so I want, my money back. And sadly enough, this person was super unprofessional and downright rude to me. I couldn't believe it really, because I'm just this little tiny speck in this person's life. They're a millionaire. So I was really blown away and super disappointed about it. But, that's the world, I guess. That's the world. So anyway, I did end up getting my money back, and it was a big debacle, and it's sad that that's the way it ended. So that was the first program that I tried. It did not help me. If you don't know a thing about YouTube, creating your thumbnails, you've never done one, then it might be something good for you. But for me, I had already been on YouTube a while. I was looking for strategies to, to do better, to improve, to grow, to monetize, but I really wasn't getting that. And when I would go back to this person's channel and look at a video, maybe they just posted, it was all of these things about, things you need to do on your videos when you post them. And I'm like, well, why didn't that person tell me that? Why didn't that person say, all right, Jennifer, these are things you need to tick off on every video? But there was nothing like that. So overall, very disappointing, and not something that helped me grow at all. The next one that I actually did not purchase because of, I'm getting ready to tell you why, was for a fairly new person on YouTube that has really blown up really quickly. And this person has a mentoring program to grow on YouTube. So part of this person's process is you fill out a questionnaire and tell, why you want to grow, what your channel's about, yada, yada. And then it asks you, how much can you spend on a coaching program? And I believe it was less than 3,000, 3,000 to 5,000, and then over 5,000, I believe, were the options. Well, I'm going to pick the lowest one, obviously. I would think most people would, but I picked under 3,000. Well, I got a rejection back that said, unfortunately, this program costs more than that, so you will not be considered. I'm so confused about that. Why don't you just tell people how much it costs? Why are you trying to trick people into the right answer and to see if they really have the money to spend? I just don't understand that. I mean, to me, that is completely unethical. Why don't you just say, my program is $5,000. If you're interested, fill out this questionnaire and I will consider you. Why is there a game of pick this one and it's not the right one? Okay, so if I had said I could spend over 5,000, would the person have come back and said, great, because it's $7,000? I just don't understand that type of thinking, and I don't want to do business with that person. So I did not move forward because that is unethical. And why don't you just tell me the truth? Why don't you just be transparent about it and tell me how much it costs? For real. What? I don't get it. But again, I'm an oldie but goodie, and I guess I just expect people to be honest. And unfortunately, that is not what happens out there. Now, the other form of coaching that I have tried on several different occasions is communities. Communities are huge right now. And every creator that you look at, you'll see, join my community for $99 a month or $50 a month or whatever the case may be. And I've gotten into some of those communities because I'm like, I want to see what this is all about. Well, in my experience, again, if you want just some cheerleader who's going to talk to you about mindset and, making sure that you're consistent and all the things that you always hear, then that's what I have found in communities. I really have. There's no one-on-one at all. And the bigger the community gets, the more difficult it is to get an answer on anything, right? That's what I've experienced. So I even had one recently where we were on the call taking us through, the information for the day, for the week, and there's no opportunity to actually ask questions verbally. All of the questions had to be put into the chat, and the person leading it would look at the chat and then answer the question and just kind of move on. So it's like you feel like, they don't want to take the time to really help me. They just want to rush through the chat. Otherwise, they would open it up so people could actually talk and ask questions. And then within the community, you can post, all kinds of things there, just like any type of online forum. And you just wait for people to respond. And a lot of times it's just the other people in the community who are responding. So I don't find much value, or I haven't found much value yet in those. And there's also people who will private message you in those communities trying to sell you something else. And I'm like, that's not really why I got into this. I want that coaching and development and mentoring that's going to help me improve my business. That's the bottom line. And I want somebody who actually cares about doing that. I am a very positive person. These are just my opinions, and I'm not trying to be negative at all. I'm just being realistic about what I have experienced. Now, there may be some great ones. You may be in some that really give you value, and that's amazing. I'm so happy for you, but I haven't found the right one for me. So back to the initial question of, does coaching really help you improve your YouTube channel? I mean, the answer is that it depends. It depends on what you're looking for with coaching. It depends on, who you find. If you find somebody great, then that's amazing. I just haven't stumbled upon that person yet, because I want somebody who cares about my growth and my business. And that's why people should be coaching, is because they want to help people succeed. And so far, that has not been my experience. I'm still on the search. If you know a good coach, please let me know, because I would love that. But none of these have helped me improve my channel. I might get a few tips and tricks, but as far as helping me get to monetization, no, that has not happened. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that this helped you in your journey on YouTube and just looking at coaching and how it works. Would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Again, I'm small. Let's help each other. But please subscribe, because I'm always giving out tips and tricks on starting an online business where I want to actually help people succeed. That's my goal. So if you're interested in starting an online business, check out this next video, because it is geared towards those over 50 and is a simple way to get started online.